You'll see that the daily stand-up is 15 minutes, your retrospective meetings, your demonstration meetings, those should all be time-boxed. You'll see when we do estimation process, when we're estimating user stories, that we time-box that, and that really keeps everybody on track with making sure that we're staying on target with what we need to get done, we're parking lotting things that we need to, but we're moving forward and make sure we accomplish all the goals. And the requirements, the architecture, and design are elaborated just in time. So here's where I start to tell stories about PMO projects that didn't really go well in a waterfall methodology. And I'll give a couple of examples. Architecture and design are elaborated just in time. Traditionally, when we got a project in the PMO, it would be a project that would take a year or a year and a half long. And the first thing I had to do is I had to call together all the right teams and say, hey, how long is this going to take you to do? And they'd be like, I don't know, 500 hours. And I'd figure up hours, and I'd figure out milestones for that project, and I'd say, hey, Lonnie, good news. I'm going to deliver this on June 2nd, 2015. So it's the beginning of the project. The team understands that the least amount they ever will because they haven't done any work on it. But I'm giving projections 18 months out to my CIO that I'm going to deliver this. Anybody want to guess how successful I was in my reporting and hitting schedule and scope for those projects? They may have seen my numbers from the PMO delivery. 32%. And I thought that was actually pretty good. Our scope changed frequently. We had customer red lights. We had customer change their minds. We had, outages that took everybody's time. New projects that came up frequently. Those things are realistic items that are going to happen. You've got to plan for them. When I'm trying to plan 18 months out for those things, I'm not going to be successful. But if I'm planning 2 weeks out in a sprint, or if I'm planning a quarter out in a release, I'm going to be way more successful and way more accurate about what I can truly deliver in those time frames. So that's why they talk about requirements. Figure out your requirements for the next feature, which is going to go in the next PSI. Don't try and figure out all of your requirements up front. Another example of an architectural change is we moved the Vantage equipment to AIX. And AIX is IBM, right? You guys know for sure? I think it is. So I said, hey Lonnie, we're going to move all of our customers to this new infrastructure, and I'm going to hit the middle of next year. And Ken Kennedy actually called me out on a conference call and said, hey Todd, your job is on the line if you don't hit that date. Can you hit that date? And I'm like, no way. Yeah, that's a true story. So what happened? So I planned, it was project planning, and I planned, okay, we're going to have to buy some servers, and then I'm going to install them at the data center, and I'm going to do some test environments, and then I'm going to migrate all my customers. So what I did was I put out a customer migration schedule, because the SVUs want to know when all this is coming so they can tell their customers. I said, well, tell them that Time Warner will be in June, and Comcast will be in July, and Dish will be in August. And I set a schedule and I communicated that to it. What happened was our architecture failed miserably when we stood up the first customer. So we hit our development activities and we did the procurement piece and got all the infrastructure in place, put a customer on it, and it went in the toilet. The IBM performance was nowhere what they expected it was going to be for our environment. So the TPS was, I don't remember specifically what it was, but it was way below our minimum threshold that we were allowed to put our customers on. So we actually moved 2 customers on it, performance went down, we opened priority 1 tickets with IBM. It cost me 3 months on that project. I was working with IBM, they give us tuning recommendations, the storage guys would make changes, the architects would make changes. We're fine-tuning the environments and couldn't get them to perform to acceptable customer thresholds until 3 months longer than what we expected. So, what we should have done is you break these up into smaller pieces. Jackie's speech earlier about small batches, what we should have done is we said, you know what, all we need is a proof of concept environment. I can commit to doing a proof of concept environment in the next quarter. Roll out that environment and then monitor it. And inspect and adapt went well, make changes then. So, this is really important of just-in-time elaboration. If we had done that, and then we had rolled out 1 customer on it and monitored performance, and then done 1 more, we probably would have hit customer expectations because we knew a lot more about the project as we got farther into it.
So Todd, in that scenario, how would you have responded to C-level management when they wanted a time frame for you?
Right.
You had originally projected to be 18 months.
Right.
Knowing now that you really couldn't give a solid time frame until you've gone through
Right.
some iterations.
That's what you get all the time. Well, where's my time? How do I know when I'm going to
Right,
get it?
so how do you respond
Right.
to that? Like,
Okay.
I can't give you a time, give me a quarter, and I'll
Right.
give you a better idea of when we can get these migrations.
Because I'd love to just tell our CIO, I don't know, but I'll get back to you.
Right,
Let me
right.
check. Doesn't work, does it?
No.
So if I went back to my big picture that I forgot to grab, let's roll this up to that program level where we said these are features. And a feature is delivered in a PSI, which are basically quarters for us. When I had my epic defined, which is move the Vantage product to AIX infrastructure, first thing I would have done is broken that epic down into pieces, those features. So it probably would have been like 10 or 12 features underneath it. And the first feature would have been probably get my contracts in place with IBM. I know I can get that done this quarter. And my second feature would have been procurement piece. And the third feature would have been a development environment and coding and so on. I get all of those features defined first, and then I prioritize them and sequence them. So I know that I can get 1 or 2 features done per PSI. I can kind of look at this list and extrapolate out. I know if I can get 2 features done each PSI, that this is going to be 14.1, these 2 are going to be 14.2, and these are going to be 14.3. So I tell Lonnie flat out that the farther out I'm predicting these, the less accurate potentially I'm going to be. But I will tell you at the end of each quarter, I'll publish this milestone, not milestone, but roadmap of features, and I'll tell you how I'm doing on track to delivering those. So you can still give them an estimated timeline up front, roughly, but you got to be very clear that if you hit problems or priorities change, they're not committed yet until they actually hit a PSI. It's a cultural thing, but I tell you, Lonnie would rather have me do that than hit 32% delivery. It's more